the slippery slope, reality or fallacy. Would the key to unlocking the first gate also unintentionally unlock other gates? We urge the Singapore government to align existing policies with our recommendations. While their list comprises many policies for widespread social change, we will only address 3 in this segment. First, LGBT Affirming Sexuality Education. Ping.sg and Ugajaga implement an evidence-based sexuality education curriculum that is inclusive of LGBT diversity. Other LGBT organizations equalize access to information on LGBTQ sexual and reproductive health by implementing comprehensive sexuality education programs. The learning objectives of children 5 to 8 years. It is important to understand the difference between biological sex and gender. There are many different kinds of families that exist around the world, different family structures and concepts of marriage. Educate and celebrate.
Really, the bottom line is to completely smash heteronormativity. That's what we want to do.
因为其实蛮多的学校讲到这个同婚，然后讲到性倾向、性别气质就差不多了。
One of the handouts that concerns me the most is called the genderbread person. You could be all female one day, and the next day feel like you're neither female or male.
This is ideology-driven.
How has LGBT affirming sexuality education impacted the young?
In 2018, 2% of high school students said they were transgenders. Went from roughly 1 in 10,000 people to 2 in 100 high school students.
Currently, the Ministry of Education's sexuality education teaches students what homosexuality is, the importance of respect and empathy, and the law concerning homosexual acts in Singapore. How would repealing 377A impact sexuality education in Singapore? Minister K. Shanmugam. If there are changes in the law, every ministry will have to work through the potential impact and consequences and ascertain what needs to be done in line with our society's values. How will LGBT affirming sexuality education affect Singaporean children and parents? Next, unrestricted media portrayals of LGBT persons. Include sexual orientation and gender identity in program content. Rectify media codes, policies and practices that prohibit neutral or positive portrayals of LGBTQ persons. Strategy. Good propaganda. Expose them to an unending series of positive gay images, enhancing public receptiveness and sensitivity.
To normalize it.
Same love. Is this true? Our ads are lies. Propaganda relies more upon emotional manipulation than upon logic, since its goal is to bring about a change in the public's feelings. In June 2021, the live stream of Pink.13 was promoted as suitable for children. Do you consider such content suitable for children? Today, LGBT themes are being introduced to children globally.
This family has 2 mummies. I want you to meet my brother Dave. Hi. His husband Frank. Hi.
I am your fabulous godmother.
DC Comics has announced that its latest Superman will be bisexual.
Marvel released Eternals, featuring a gay superhero with a husband and son. Disney has confirmed that their new film, Lightyear, will contain a same-sex kissing scene. Leaked videos expose Disney's not at all secret gay agenda. How would removing restrictions of LGBT themes from our media code affect Singaporean children and parents? Lastly, LGBT marriage and parenting rights. Recognize same-sex long-term partnerships and marriages conducted in other jurisdictions. Permit and recognize registration of same-sex marriages and partnerships in Singapore or elsewhere.
Supposing we moved on 377A, I think the gay activists will push for more to advocate same-sex marriages and parenting, and many who are not anti-gay will be against this agenda.
Research has demonstrated considerable risk to children exposed to the homosexual lifestyle. Violence between same-sex partners is 2 to 3 times more common. same-sex partnerships are significantly more prone to dissolution. Homosexual men and women are reported to be promiscuous with serial partners.
한 남자가 보통 남자 게이들이 일생 동안 150에서 550명까지를 관계를 한다는 거예요.
The gay community has never had any traditions of faithfulness corresponding to straight marriage. Homosexual activist Marsha Gesson.
Fighting for gay marriage generally involves lying about what we're going to do with marriage when we get there. Because we lie that the institution of marriage is not going to change.
Ian Jenkins, Alan Mayfield, and Jeremy Allen Hodges are 3 men raising babies together.
I just don't think humans are actually built to be monogamous animals.
What are your views on children being raised in LGBT families? Do all LGBT persons or children with same-sex parents support this?
Les homosexuels se moquent de ce projet de loi parce qu'ils ont eu un père et une mère comme tout le monde et qu'ils veulent que ce soit le cas pour tous les enfants.
Same-sex marriage will not redefine marriage, it will undefine it.
The truth is that growing up with 2 mothers forced me to be confused about who I was.
I didn't really have a male example to follow.
I recognized that while my mother was a fantastic mother, she can't be a father. Children have a right to be in relationship with their mother and father whenever possible. And as a society, we shouldn't normalize a family structure that requires children to lose one or both parents to be in that household.
Katie Faust started Them Before Us, a global children's rights movement to advocate placing children's rights before adult desires.
Children actually have universally recognized rights to their mother and father. It is in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child.
Should the desires of adults supersede the rights of children to be loved and raised by their biological mothers and fathers? Did you know that same-sex couples are turning to assisted reproduction to have children? Rectify discriminatory laws by ensuring that assisted reproductive technology is available to everyone, regardless of sexual orientation and gender identity.
We are expanding the family. Those are 2 different wombs, 2 different babies.
In Singapore,
I'm Brenda, this is Pauline, and this is Velda.
Such families are made to be broken, or rather, broken to be made by design.
Which parent do I not need, my mom or my dad?
When we decide to treat kids as commodities, right, when we decide to say that they're just items to be cut and pasted into the home of any adult that has the means to get their hands on them, we're willingly putting kids at risk.
What are your views on same-sex couples acquiring children through assisted reproduction? Should children be treated as commercial commodities? Since the year 2000, many countries that had legalized homosexual sex have gone on to legalize same-sex marriage and parenting. LGBTQ activism will not stop at the repeal of 377A, where a proposed change would impact major values and involve undesirable outcomes. It is irresponsible not to engage in reflection. The slippery slope. What are the potential ripple effects of repealing 377A?